Hello, hello. My name is Irina Bakley, and I am a licensed relationship therapist. And today we are continuing on a series where I'm giving you a little sneak peek on a very powerful relationship exercise that I like to do with most of my couples when I first start working with them. So, just to review very briefly, the first video that I did covered, the name of the exercise is identifying your cycle, right? We all get stuck in these relationship cycles or dance when we are, in a marriage or a partnership. And so, during the first exercise, during the first video, we covered the first part of the exercise where we were trying to identify your main dance moves, some of the things that you and your partner do when your hearts are uncomfortable, when things are not good between you two. Things like complaining, getting angry, yelling, criticizing, problem solving, withdrawing, getting defensive, and so on. During the second video, we've talked about the second part of the exercise, which called perceptions, which talks about the fact that we create these movies and stories inside our heads when things are not good between us, between my partner and myself. And we're trying to identify those stories. We're trying to create name, put name to it, create language around it, and really understand what is this most catastrophic, black and white, usually, the stories and perceptions contain words like never and always. You always disappear on me. You never want to have sex. You always do this. Right? So again, we can slow ourselves down and we can understand what is it that we are telling ourselves in those difficult moments. And then later we can challenge them and see that these things most of the times are not true, even though our brain um, that has experienced trauma before with relationships, with family of origin, thinks that that's the case. And today we are continuing to the third part of the exercise, which called metaphors and body sensations. And this part is super important because it talks about how it brings us to our body. It helps us to drop in and understand what is it that's happening inside our body when we are feeling angry, when we are feeling defensive, when we are feeling judged. And a lot of times, it's really hard for a lot of people to connect to those sensations, to those physical sensations, because we live here in our heads most of the time. We problem solve here, we figure things out here. Living here is really rewarding. It makes money for people, it helps to solve problems, right? It's like it's very functional. But here in your body lives everything else. And we believe in emotional focus therapy. We believe that emotion travels, from the bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom. A lot of traditional therapists, they talk about how, the thoughts, right? It's like, I feel angry, and then you feel maybe heat, some heat in your stomach. We believe, and all the research now, over 30 plus years of research now, that shows that first we actually have the sensation, the heat, their the heaviness, whatever it is in your body, and then we create a story about that. So here in the third part, we're trying to understand what is it happening in my body, and then also what image and metaphors are coming to my mind, kind of that represents that these feelings in this moment of disconnection and conflict. So I'm going to ask you do the same thing I've asked in the first videos, where if it feels comfortable, close your eyes. I'm gonna read through a few examples of metaphors and body sensations. And then I would love for you to check in with yourself and see if that's something that resonates with you, and then journal about it and take it a little further if you're interested in doing that. All right. So, again, when things are not good between me and my partner, this is what's happening. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I feel like a deer caught in the headlight. I feel like I've studied all night but still failed the test. I feel like there is a wall between us made of steel. I'm screaming into the wind. I'm drowning in the sea of grief. I'm knocking on the door, but there is no answer. I'm backed into a corner with no good options. And then what do you notice in your body? I notice a knot in my stomach, weight on my chest, tension in my shoulders, feeling numb or freezing to death or burning up inside. I have this blinding headache. So these are just the examples from this exercise that we've gathered from all other couples explaining what is it that's happening for them in those difficult moments. So I would love for you to take a few moments to connect to your own unique experience and see what it is that's happening in your body, where in your body you hold that tension, you hold those problems, you hold those conflicts, and what metaphors, what images, what colors kind of come to your mind when you're thinking about your problem. All right. I think we have one more part left for next time. But thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions and you would love to schedule your free 15-minute consultation call with me, feel free to go on my website. It's www.irinabakleycounselingllc.com, and I would be happy to chat and see if I can help. Take care.